Entonces estamos acá en el Hotel Cumbres, estamos con George Zaharoff, nuestro perfumista, que lo tenemos hace mucho tiempo acá en la tienda, sus hermosos perfumes que disfrutamos ustedes, nosotros y toda la comunidad que está acá en Cruz y Valencia. Y ahora vamos a empezar a conocerlo, vamos a hacerle algunas consultas para ir adentrándonos, ir conociendo cómo es la vida de George. So, George.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you. I love Chile. I love Santiago. I love my relationship with you and Osvaldo and the team. I love working with Cruz y Valencia. I love, there's a lot of love from Zaharoff here coming to. I'm very, very happy to be here.
We are very happy to having you here in Chile, and also Antonia and Warren, your team.
Gracias. I have my business partner Antonia and my nephew Warren is here from the States too. So we're all happy to be here.
You have said to me that you have been here in Santiago. How many times have you been here?
It's my second trip.
Your second trip in here today.
I've spent time in, I've been to Brazil and Argentina many times, but this is my second time in Santiago in Chile. And I always come from Buenos Aires. The last time I came, I come from Buenos Aires too.
So you like also Buenos Aires to stay. Well, did you start your passion from the art and also the haute couture?
So my mother was a fashion designer, and I grew up in the fabrics. And at that time, I mean, we're talking about now 1970, late 70s, and the 1980s. You know, you weren't born yet, but we had shows like Dynasty and Dallas and Knots Landing, some very big television shows. Now we have the internet, and shows are not that as big. But my mother did clothes for that, and she had a big clientele. And as a child, I grew up in the fabrics.
Wow.
And my mother would take me with her traveling, a little boy.
So you like were traveling like since you were a child?
The earliest memories is of me in a little three-piece suit running at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam.
Wow.
You know, I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
And it was called Zaharoff as a brand?
Always Zaharoff, yes.
Always Zaharoff.
Yeah.
So it's like a familiar brand.
Correct.
That you...
Yes, and you know what? I might have some logos from the past. My mother, her logo, how she had Zaharoff. I'll send you some pictures of her label, of how the logo has changed too over the years.
Wow.
So I'll send that to you. So it was around 1990. I was at DePaul University. I was 20 years old, and I wanted to bring the fashion house to Europe. I wanted to bring it to Paris. And we started in '92 to show in
Paris.
In Milan, actually. We started showing in the Milan shows.
Okay.
And we started with one bottle of perfume.
There it started the...
And that's what started everything.
Wow. And what was the first one?
It was the Parfum.
Parfum.
It was a beautiful, like a multifaceted bottle, like a diamond.
Yeah.
And it grew very quickly, very fast in the United States, and over the 90s, all the way to 2001, it grew very quickly. And so we had the women's and the men's. Then we launched the men's in 2000, the Pour Homme. So there's the Pour Femme and the Pour Femme. Yes, Pour Homme, sorry, Pour Homme.
And the Pour Homme of that time and the new one that we know, it's very different or not?
The Pour Homme of the original was out in the market for less than a year. And when 9/11 happened, we closed the fragrance down, the fragrance division down, and I went doing my fashion. And because the men's fragrance was so good that I tried almost 20 years to revive it.
Wow.
And I couldn't. It was always something, it was never the right time to do it. So in 2013, we got together with Antonia and we did the Pour Homme.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the signature pour homme. So many of the oils that we had in the original pour homme in 2099, you can't use anymore.
What's that? Because of the raw materials.
Yes, the raw materials, or IFRA, there's a governing body that controls the oils in the world, and it's called IFRA. And so IFRA would not let me use it. So it's not exactly the signature pour homme is not exactly the former pour homme, but it's very close.
It's very close. And your relationship with the perfumist Claude Dir, when did it start?
I have known Claude Dir. So imagine me, I'm 22 years old.
Yeah, that's me.
like your age. And I was working on the bottle with the French glassmaker, and they told Claude Dir, who was with a big perfume house back in the day, oh, there's this young kid, he's looking for a perfume. So Claude calls me on the phone, and it was actually the time when we actually had phones that we spoke to and he calls me and he goes, oh, my name is Claude Dir. I heard you're coming with a fragrance. Maybe we could work together. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you. And I didn't know who he was. And so I'm talking to my bottle people, and my bottle salesperson goes, did you hear from Claude Dir? I go, I think he called me. He goes, he's one of the best perfume. Yeah, and I was like, oh my. So I flew to New York to meet him, and we developed the Parfum.
Wow.
So we've known each other for 30 years.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
He gets me. I feel like he's like part of my brain. Like I'm left brain, he's my right brain. Like he understands. Yeah.
You're connected with the ideas and also the creation.
Yeah.
They're very.
He understands Zaharoff. He understands me, the vision. And when you have someone like that launching some beautiful fragrances, you don't, you let the flow and let it all happen.
And how do you inspire before to create a fragrance to make a fragrance? Like, for example, to create Coco Loco, how was your inspiration?
So for Coco Loco, I wanted a spring-summer fragrance, a fun one. And I can't explain it to you. It's like I have dreams. It comes to, I don't know. And Antonia, because we work in we have a bit open office.
Yep.
And I sit at my desk, and Antonia will look at it like the magician, the Mickey Mouse, the magician,
Yep.
the cartoon where I'm sitting there doing and
your creations.
And it's like kind of you liken it to that, like he's doing his magic, and I'm always my brain is always working and doing. And so for Coco Loco, I smelled it. I smelled the fragrance, and I turned to Antonia and I go, "This is Coco Loco." And she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Right? Yeah." And I go, "We need to go to Brazil. I need to show you Rio de Janeiro." And next, and I have to tell you, if I would be listening to myself 7 years ago, and I'd be hearing myself say that, "Oh, we'll go to Rio de Janeiro," I'm like, "That's incredible. I want to be him. I want to be that person." So we went to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah. To the destiny of the fragrance also.
Right. And I want to show Antonia. Antonia is giving me so many opportunities to be able to do and create that I want to share with her too. I want to, okay, come on, let me show you what I'm thinking, Wow. And so we go to Rio de Janeiro, and she's like, I get it now. I see why.
That is the first.
Yeah. And not only that, but why you would need to travel, George, because it's the inspiration behind these fragrances is all about people of the world. Celebrating life. And that's what Zaharoff is about.
It's about trips, countries, cultures,
yes.
Everything. And in that trips that you have done, which one is the most important for you and for the brand, or for, I don't know, for raw materials or cultures that has impact for you, like very inside?
I think that the first fragrance. Before that, I was doing clothing, and I was very private. And Nordstrom, at the time, Nordstrom is a big department store in the United States, and they said you'd have no social media. You need to put yourself out there. And I was talking with Antonia, and we're like, you know what? We have to show the world what Zaharoff is about. And I said, I took a filmmaker, and we went and did all over the world to show the different oils where they're made. And that was hugely impactful. And it separated us from everyone else. And I came up with Elixir of the World. If you notice on the box, Elixir of the World, it's a trademark. So it's a Zaharoff trademark. And so it truly is Elixir of the World. Like what the perfumes that are in your hands are really the world.
Elixir of the world.
Yes. So I think maybe that first trip.
The first trip was that one that inspires you the most.
Yeah, and it launched the signature pour homme, which then launched all the other perfumes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now for searching, for example, raw materials, you go to the country and...
So now, before the pandemic, there was only two fragrances. Well, before the pandemic, there was one, and then after there was Noir and Royale.
Yeah.
Now there's 19. And so many of the oils are from the same places, and there's not as much time to go to Madagascar or to go for vanilla. And so it's been a little bit more challenging to do that. And we've talked about doing more of that. It's just, it's a lot of time and, well, hold on. We did the Halfeti Black Rose.
Oh.
And it's a place in Turkey by the border in Syria.
And there you have the rose.
The black rose,
yeah.
Yes. And it's only grown in one point in the world, the black rose. And that took 2 years. It took me 2 years with the government and having to find the farmer, and it's a lot of work. The other one that we did, the very special one, Precious Treasure, it took 3 years to get the approvals to go to Angola and Namibia to find the women that make the oil. Yeah, so I'm still doing it. We're still doing it. Yeah, but very, very, very special now.
Well, and now with, for example, for you, it's special to have your fragrances here in Chile.
Oh, are you kidding? It's a huge honor, and it's a huge blessing. And you were the first outside of the United States to carry Zaharoff.
Oh, well.
From the very beginning. And so, are you kidding me? And it makes me happy. I love my relationship with you.
Thank you. Well,
and you have supported Zaharoff, and I appreciate that too.
Thank you. Yeah, we really like and we love the brand, so we care the brand, and also to express or to say to our customers your inspirations and be us, the person that tell the inspiration, the stories before the creation.
Yes, I appreciate that, because you're also ambassadors of the brand too, right? You're a part of the Zaharoff family too.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, what is going on in the future, for example, for Zaharoff, scents or something?
So we have, I call it a privé, which is a private collection coming out. It will be once a year, something more special. All the fragrances under signature is based on the signature pour homme.
Yeah.
And so from the signature pour homme,
The privé pour homme.
all of the other ones are from that one, because we either add or subtract, and the collection is the signature collection. The new one is called Basilius, which means king.
Yeah.
So Basilius. And it's going to be the private collection. It's going to be different than the signature line, and it'll be something very special fragrances that I love that are created with Claude that we want to bring to market, but it doesn't fit in the signature line.
It's very different.
It's different, yes. Yeah. And we also would like to do leather goods, to do our wallets and bags, and then expand into other markets. We just opened Italy, France, Germany, and so we're busy. It's been busy.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
That you and your brand with Antonia, it's growing up and now very knowing.
Thank you. God willing, right? God willing, but yes. Slowly, very slowly.
Piano.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. And for the community here in Chile of the Zaharoff community in the world, what do you want to say to them?
Oh, I'm very grateful for, we started with one fragrance with the signature Pour Homme, and there's so many companies and brands bringing out so many perfumes in the market, as you know.
Yeah.
And to be able to have people welcome us into their homes, into their lives, into all of their different events, their weddings and christenings and baptisms and
it's very special.
It's very, very special. It's a very spiritual connection. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's in the stars, and so I'm very grateful for the support, because without them I could never do what I'm doing, right? And so it means a lot to me. And your support, it's so awesome. I love it. It's pretty awesome.
So, thank you so much, George, for being here, to take your time to speak with us. And we are glad to having you here in Chile.
I appreciate that.
Much.
Let's bring Antonia here for a minute. Antonia, why don't you just come on and say hello to everybody?
Antonia is the business partner of George.
Come around here if you want, right here. This is Antonia.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Here, so you started with George in 2013, approximately?
We reunited in 2013 and we started talking about doing the fragrances. We had grown up together and we lost touch for a while, and then around 2013 we reunited and we started talking about bringing the fragrance back. Oh. And it took a few years, quite a few years, maybe
to be
five or six to start it.
Yeah, because we had the molds, we had the design. We had the molds, we had to do the design, and it took time, and we were waiting for Nordstrom wanted us to have more social media. So that took a year. So yeah, a good 3 years.
And then the pandemic happened.
And the pandemic happened, but we launched, we did the Z Creators. It's been from there, it's been very quick. Yeah.
So you were like a lot of time working together, and now you are growing up as a brand.
That's right.
Right.
Is there anything you want to say before we go?
The Chilean people.
Just that we're thrilled to be here. It's a beautiful city, beautiful country, and we love working with you, and we're honored, and we feel like you're part of our family, and thank you for all the love and support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's the truth. It's like family. It is. We've been wanting to come here too for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm happy we're finally here. So
we made it.
Muchas gracias.
A la audiencia.
Thank you so much. And much love. How do you say much love? Multi amore.
Muchas gracias. Los amo mucho. Los quiero mucho.
Los quiero mucho.
Los queremos
quiero mucho. Okay. Gracias.
Chao.
Gracias.